Hey guys, welcome back to a new episode of The Rowan Taylor Show. On this episode, I'm going to be doing a little series on a pretty well-known YouTube channel called Film Theory. It is made by a pretty well-known person. He's mildly famous, I would say, known as MatPat. And what this series is going to basically be is I'm going to be debunking his film theories. Now, these aren't going to be film theories that are already proven to be false, like the last Infinity Stone being in Heimdall, or one of his many other theories that is known to be wrong. This is going to be just looking at the ones that haven't been proven wrong yet. And while not all the episodes are going to be necessarily debunking them, some of them it will at the very least be partly debunking them, because like this theory that I'm going to be debunking today, it's not the entire theory. I just think that he came to the wrong conclusion, and I feel like there's another answer to his theory that I don't think he thought of, or at the very least didn't put in his video. So, this first theory that I'm going to be partially debunking, because he got part of it right, and I feel like that there's a little part of it towards the end that I think could be improved upon. Now, I'm not saying it's a bad theory. All of his theories are very good. They're very thought out, and they have to be researched. But I'm just putting my opinion on what this theory should have been, or what this theory its conclusion could have been. So the theory that I'm going to be doing today is, it was very long ago. It was for Infinity War, and it was the one in which he said that Thanos should not be able to snap his fingers because you can't snap your fingers inside of a glove, because it dampens the noise, and it won't be able to have a snapping sound like it normally does when you snap without the glove. And that part is 100% correct. But I have two sides to this that I think that he might not have looked at. First of all, the gauntlet doesn't make a snapping sound in the movie. If you watch Avengers Infinity War and you look at that scene, you would see that, as I'm about to show you, there's not really a snapping sound when he snaps his fingers. It's more of a energy sound. And I'll come back to that later, but here's the clip. Okay, so as you probably could see in that, I'm hoping that you could have seen in that clip, there wasn't really a snapping sound. It was more like a sound, like an energy sound, like when an energy blast fires from something. And I think I have an answer to that sound, because that sound is probably coming from the Infinity Stones themselves, or the energy that they release. Because if you look at that scene, when he snaps his fingers, a giant white flash goes across the universe. And that giant white flash, I believe, is the culmination of all of the energy of all of the stones. Because when he snaps his fingers, he puts his hand like this, causing there to be a nice little whirlpool or ball of energy that flows throughout his glove. And it collects up here when he does this, and he snaps his finger. Now, the part of that portion of energy that was right here gets squeezed together really, really tight. And since the Infinity Stone's energy is super powerful, and even that little bit of energy within his glove is able to expand throughout the entire universe. So what happens when he snaps is that little bit of energy goes right here, gets squished together when his fingers go down like this. And that tiny bit of energy gets compressed into a big ball of light. That light is coming from the color of all of the energy squishing together, crossing the light waves in order to create the color white. Because if you don't know this, when the wavelengths come together of all the different colors, it forms white. Because white, in light terms, is the sum of all color. So any white light you see is all of the wavelengths being projected into your eyes, and the black color that you see is all of the wavelengths being absorbed into that object. And so when this white light forms, what it's signifying is that all the energy is coming together. And I know what you're asking. I just went into a big tangent about the color of it. What does that have to do? Well, if this signifies that all of the energy has come together, when that much energy gets together for like the fraction of a second that it is it has to be dispersed. And that is where the noise comes in. You see, there is so much energy in here that when it goes, that super loud noise that comes out, that noise isn't coming from the sound waves that are being created when he snaps his fingers. It's coming from the energy that's exploding when it goes out across the universe. And that is what I think is the snapping noise that you hear in the movie, and that is how I think the Infinity Gauntlet should actually be able to make a snapping noise. Another little add-on to this theory is, and I know this is after he released this theory, so you wouldn't have had a chance to see this, but in Avengers Endgame, when Thanos snaps his fingers without the Infinity Stone, when Tony Stark takes it, it makes that clank noise that he described the gauntlet would make. And that is this episode of Debunking Film Theory. And that is a wrap on this episode of The Rowan Taylor Show. See you guys next time. Goodbye. And make sure to, just goodbye. I was about to say the cringy stuff. Comment, like, and subscribe. But I know that's annoying.